having trouble finding the right feedstocks. So we've now told you how important it is to have nitrogen-rich materials and carbon-rich materials. And we've said a few times that diversity of different feedstocks or recipe ingredients is best. Where the heck do you get all this stuff, right? And some of you have CSAs, and you can get food scraps from, we seem to have, access to the nitrogen-rich pieces, but not always. Sometimes you may want to have a larger volume, and you need to think about how to get more food scraps or nitrogen-rich, maybe manures into your system. But carbon is often, we sort of refer to that, it's often the limiting factor. We often refer to it as like the governor of the system, right? So really, you can only compost as much food scraps as you have carbon to match, so that they actually are composting and breaking down in a way that's healthy for everybody. So we have this this worksheet that we've shared with our partners and that is posted on the website called Mapping Reciprocal Partnerships, or an asset mapping exercise. We always recommend that folks try to think as broadly as possible about where they might get stuff and tell people what you're doing. What we found is that sometimes, you're just sort of doing your own thing and people may not know what you're doing, but the more you talk about your project, why you're doing it, why it's important to you, the value that you see it adding to your community, all kinds of people, and sometimes the most unexpected people, have solutions for you or have access to, wood shavings, or, may have a landscaping business, or, have some connection to a lumber yard or something like that, some access to resources that would fill in a need that you have in your recipe. You can post on neighborhood networks, on forums, or Facebook neighborhood groups or pages. And just really thinking the reciprocal part of it is also, we try to help people think about how to frame things in terms of also providing back to those who may be helping you out. So it might be, this is great, and at the end, once you have some finished compost, maybe you give like a thank you 5-gallon bucket of finished compost. Or it could be that you have a neighbor that has some livestock and they're not composting or don't really know how to manage their manure and bedding well. It could be a really great reciprocal relationship of, we'll take that off your hands, because for us, it's not a waste. It's this awesome resource that we would love to have. And so whatever sort of frame you can think to put on it, that's the best way to identify and sort of expand your circle of resources that you have access to.